I think one place you could give yourself more credit is it also has to do with where you are in your life.
Yeah.
You're in your 20s. You're an entrepreneur. You've been a builder for years. You are trying to explode something.
Yeah.
You are in a constant state of that you want to be in, paradoxically, of crisis, right? You are trying to get something off the ground. It's iteration, failure, iteration, failure, success, failure, all the way to where it's like, oh my God, we did it, right?
Yeah.
So you're also trying to better yourself all the time. You're trying to know more information about things that are totally peripheral. I don't know if I used that right, but to what on the periphery of what you're doing. So in your mind, that time transactionally, and it's not to say like, fuck you, grandma, I don't want to talk to you. Like, that's not the point. Yeah. But transactionally in your head, you're like, well, what am I getting out of this? Right? Like, what am I learning right now? If I'm talking about what the weather's doing outside, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? Like, that's 15 minutes of my day I could have studied, like, where Sequoia's investing next.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's a great point. And then also it's the same thing where, like, even if I am talking about business, I want to talk to somebody that is benefiting me in terms of, like, can provide me some sort of knowledge that I didn't have. So if it's going to be a conversation, and again, this sounds so like arrogant, but if it's going to be a conversation about me, there's no value add after it. Like, they're just so either A, they don't really care, or they're kind of just interested in hearing me talk. They're not going to provide any sort of value. And it's like, oh, how's the app? Like, how many users? Are you getting more users? And, you know, are you the like? And it's just like a boring conversation. I hate that, and I would much rather talk about nothing or just not have a conversation at all. Which again is a shame. Like, if somebody is genuinely interested in hearing you speak about something, have a conversation with them. Like, I shoo away my parents all the time about it because I'm just like, you're not gonna get it. So, like, what's the point of having this conversation? I just say, yo, it's going well. That's it.
I do that too.
Yeah.
It's and it is something I think about. I got to work on, and it sounds like you do too. But that's a lot of us. You know, it's a generational thing though.
We're admitting it though.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the first step, right?
It is, yeah.
It's like the 12-step process or whatever.
Yeah.
No, that's like AA or something.
I think something like that, yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, we don't need to go that deep. But either way, you at least have the self-awareness to know that sometimes you do have to disconnect with your phone. So do you plan that out ahead of time? Do you say like, all right, well, for 3 days next week, I'm not going to touch my phone. I'm not going to turn it on until 1 o'clock. Or are you more just like, sometimes it's like, all right, I'm just going to turn it off and put it to the side?
So I have limits set on my apps, and I used to be very strict with it. But again, I think that the crazy part about this addiction is, like, once you start to slowly get back into it, you're back in, you're logged. Mm-hmm. So now I start my day like right back on my phone. I got to get back into that whole process of not touching any nonsense apps until 12 o'clock and then stopping that at 8 o'clock. But the problem is, like, for me, especially being on TikTok, that is essentially my business now. And so for me to not be on it, even if it's from like understanding the platform a bit better, right? Understanding what works and what doesn't work. I'm always doing research, quote unquote, but you get so sucked into the nonsense for hours and then watching girls twerk their ass, and that does not help. You know what I mean? Like that's not beneficial to the business. And so I think that the
makes
point,
you feel good though.
Yeah, look, there's a time and a place for it. That's for sure. You got to realize, and I think have the conversation with yourself. Okay, am I on my phone for good reasons? And if it's a yes, I can continue. If it's no, throw it the fuck away and go do something else.